So basically, we'll start off in the heart of a forest where there was a little cottage, and in that cottage lived a girl called Mary and her single mother. Now, Mary was a little girl who loved to do lots of stuff like going out into the meadows and playing with all her friends, but she had one problem. Her mother was very strict, and she always needed her to do so many chores. Every morning, Mary would get up, she'd have her breakfast, and then her mum would say, "Right, Mary, this is what I want you to do." She'd get out a big list, and she'd hand it to Mary, and it would always be the same. Mary would be like, and the list would go on and on and on and on. It would be wash the dishes, take the dog out for a walk, clean the floors, tidy your room, wash all the pots and pans. So many things to do. And by the time Mary had gone about and done all these things, it was too late for her to go out and play. She had to have her dinner and go to bed. And every single day for Mary was the same. "Oh, Mum," she'd say, "can't I just go out and play with my friends? I hardly ever get to see them and they all have fun out in the meadows." And she said, "No, you must do your chores." And Mary would sigh. And one day, her mother sent her down into the heart of the wood where there was a little stream to wash the laundry. She had her little basket with all her dresses and her stockings and her cardigans, and she went down and she knelt down by the river and she started to wash them. And as she washed them, she mumbled. "It's not fair," she said. "I always have to do the dirty work. She never does anything. I have to do it all by myself. All my friends go out and play." And while she was saying this, she felt a presence behind her. She looked behind her and she got a fright because she saw a little old lady all dressed in black saying, "Hello, little girl, what are you doing?" And Mary looked up and said, "I'm washing some laundry because my mother is so strict and she makes me do all the chores." "Oh, that's a shame," said the old lady. "That's a real shame. You know, my mother was very strict as well. She always had to make me do everything in the house." "Yes," says Mary, "that's exactly what my mother's like. But I'll tell you something," said the old lady. "I'll tell you something. I never did my chores." "Oh, really?" said Mary. "What did you do? Was your mother angry with you?" "Oh, no. You see, I didn't do the chores. I got someone else to do them for me." "Who did you get to do them for you? Like your brother or something?" "Oh, no. I didn't have any siblings. It was just me and my mum. No. I got the wee folk to do my chores for me." "The wee folk?" said Mary. "Who are the wee folk?" "Well, the wee folk, the wee fairies, they'll do your chores for you." Mary thought, "Oh, don't be stupid. There's no such thing as fairies." "Oh, that's where you're wrong," said the old lady. "The wee fairies, they'll be happy to do all your chores in return for one thing that they love most in the world, a wee bannock." Now, a bannock was like a little cake, a little muffin. And Mary thought, "Oh, yeah, I know how to make bannocks. My mum's taught me how to make bannocks." But she didn't think it could be true. I mean, there's no such things as wee fairies, especially ones that do your chores. "Oh, you'll see," said the old lady. "Mark my word, you make a wee bannock and leave it on the doorstep, and the fairies will come and happily do your chores for you." "Nah," thought Mary, "it's all rubbish." So she'd done her washing, she got it all back in the basket, and she went back to the house. But that night, after a long day of chores, she sat down and she thought, I wonder if there was any truth in what that old lady was saying. So she went into the kitchen when her mother was asleep on the sofa, and she made a little bannock, just one, and then she crept outside just before she went to bed, and she put it on the doorstep. And she was thinking to herself, "Oh, this won't be true. It can't possibly be true." So she went to bed, and the next morning, when the sun was streaming through the window, she woke up and she ran to the door. She opened it up, and sure enough, the bannock was gone, with just a little trail of crumbs. She thought, "Nah, it'll just be some birds, or it could be the dog, or perhaps a deer." So she went about and she did all her chores, but then the night again she thought, maybe I should make another bannock. Let's try it one more time. It's worth a go. So she went and she made another bannock, and she put it on the doorstep, and she went to bed, and the next morning she opened the door, and sure enough, it was gone. "But where's the wee fairy folk?" she said. "I've made 2 bannocks already. They're gone. They've not come to do my chores. I've still got all the dishes. I've still got to go walk the dog. All the clothes are dirty. It's complete and utter rubbish." So that night she didn't bother making a bannock. She just went to bed in a huff. But just as she was about to pull the covers over her head, she heard a wee knock at the door. She stopped. She thought, nah. But then it came again. So she got out of bed and she opened up the door, looked down, and there was a wee fairy. It was a funny looking fairy, kind of like knobbly, sort of dwarfy features with a wee stick and a hat and a little kind of like cloak and little boots. And it said, "Where's me Bannoch?" And Mary thought, "Oh, they exist. They're real. There's a fairy." And the fairy said again, "Where's me Bannoch? It was there the last 2 nights. It's not there anymore. They were very good. I liked the one with the raisins in it. That was a nice one." And Mary thought to herself, "Oh, well, I'm afraid I didn't have time to make your Bannoch tonight. You see, I've got all these chores. My mum is really strict and she makes me do so much. I can't make your Bannoch. I'm far too tired." And the fairy folk went, "Oh, is that so? Well, I'll tell you what. You make me a Bannoch. Maybe raisins in it this time. That'd be nice. And I'll do your chores for you." "Really?" said Mary. "Yeah. Okay, well," Mary went and she made a Bannoch and she gave it to the wee fairy. And the fairy went, "Whoa," and ate it all in one go. And then went, sorry, I can't click my fingers, clicked his fingers, and whoa, all the chores were done. Thought Mary, wow. "I'll come back tomorrow," said the wee fairy folk, "and I'll be doing your chores, but I'll be expecting another Bannoch." Okay, so she closed the door and she thought to herself, "This must be a dream. This can't be real. A wee fairy's just done all my chores." So the next night, she made a Bannoch, and then there was another wee knock at the door. "Oh, that'll be the wee fairy." She got her Bannoch, and she opened the door, but this time, she got a surprise, because there wasn't just one, but 2 wee fairy folk standing on the doorstep. And the first one went, "Oh, hello, I brought my friend along. He wants a Bannoch too." And Mary thought, "Oh, well, I've only made one, but I suppose I could make another one." So she ran into the kitchen and she quickly made another Bannoch. And she gave them the Bannochs, and they ate them all in one go. And with a click of their fingers, all the chores were done. Well, thought Mary, that was a bit unexpected. There was 2 this time. I never thought there would be that many, but it's fine, 2 Bannochs. Still, I can manage that. And the next day, sure enough, at the exact same time, another wee knock at the door. So Mary went, and she had made 2 Bannochs ready for the little fairies. She opened them up, and this time there was 4 little fairies. And they went, "Oh, we brought some of our friends along. They cut like a Bannoch. Your Bannochs are quite famous in the woods now. It's really nice. So I brought along some more friends. I hope that's okay." And Mary went, oh, well, I guess I'll have to make some." So she had to go and make 2 more Bannochs, gave them to the fairies, but all the chores were done. The next night, she thought, how many is there going to be this time? Knock at the door. She opened the door. 8 little fairy folk. Can you see a pattern going here? I'm not very good at maths. You're going to have to help me out. The other ones get a bit bigger. 8 wee fairy folk. "We brought some of our cousins along. Yeah, they really like Bannochs. Although this one's allergic to oatmeal." Okay. So Mary had to go along and make special Bannochs and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, and they all ate them all up, but the chores were done. And Mary thought, "Whoa, they just keep coming more and more." And the next night, another knock at the door. Can you guess how many there were this time?
16.
16, that's right. She opened the door. 16 wee fairy folk. Oh, I brought my family along. This is my cousin, this is my dad, this is my mum, that's my wee brother. Yep, we'd all like to try our Bannochs. So Mary thought, 16 Bannochs. So she had to work really hard to make 2 batches of Bannochs. She handed them all out, but the chores were still done. And Mary was starting to think, oh dear, this is getting a bit out of hand. 16 wee fairy folk at my door every night. And the next night, it's a serious math now. She opened the door, and how many was there?
32. 24.
Well, just go with that, because I'm not very good at maths. But oh my gosh, there was about 20. Oh, and Mary thought, how many of you is there? I said, oh, it's quite a lot. Yeah, no, your Bannochs, as I said, they're getting very famous in the forest. So Mary had to go into the kitchen and she had to make all these Bannochs. Oh my goodness. And then she realised she didn't have more ingredients, so she had to run down to the shops, get the ingredients, and run back and make more. But she thought, okay, making Bannochs, still a bit better than doing chores. But it got worse and worse and worse. The next night, it's 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Oh my goodness. And then suddenly the numbers kept coming in. Soon there was 80. 80 wee fairy folk, all of them. Where's our Bannochs? Oh yeah, Bannochs. And she'd make them all. Oh yeah, can I have mine with cherries? Oh, I like the raisin ones. Oh yeah, I'm allergic to oatmeal as well. Okay. I can make all these special Bannochs, put the icing on this one. Yeah. Oh, And by the end of the evening, she was so tired. She thought to herself, I can't do this anymore. I can't make all these bannocks. And the next night, at the same time, a wee knock. She opened up the door, and there was a huge crowd, as far as the eye could see, with tiny wee fairy folk. All of them said at the same time, we want our bannocks. And Mary said, oh, I've had enough. I can't take it anymore. I can't possibly make bannocks for every single wee fairy folk in the wood. You're just going to have to live without your bannocks. I'll do my own chores. And all the fairy folk looked at each other. And suddenly, with that, they all disappeared. And Mary thought, where did they all go? She looked back. The dirty dishes were still piled in the sink. The dog was unwalked. The dirty clothes. The floor unmopped. She thought, I don't have to make any more bannocks. Yes, they're all gone. They won't come back. She did her chores extra fast. And then that night, she went to bed. Oh, I hope they don't come back. The next day, at exactly 7 o'clock, she waited. There was no knock on the door. Mary's mum came into the room and said, Mary, you've done your chores really quickly today. Oh yes, said Mary. You know, I really don't mind all these chores, Mum. I mean, it could be worse, you know. You could be making, like, bannocks for, like, 100 wee fairy folk. And Mary's mum went, oh, you've always got such a good imagination, Mary.